Welcome back to Steve's Small Engine Saloon.
Okay, so I was at an Echo service school, a technical update seminar, if you will, training. All the big manufacturers for like Steel Husqvarna, Echo has this. This is what they showed me and taught me at this school, and I want to know if you believe this or not. Put your comments down in the comment section on this video and tell me if you think this is true or not. Here's what the instructor showed. He said that Echo makes the best engine out there. By engine, we're talking about piston and cylinder. Right there. By the way, I do realize that neither one of these are Echo, but these are just visual aids, so don't worry about that. He said they make that is the best. All the competitors don't even touch Echo for how finely they are manufactured. He says that Echo's competitors, especially Husqvarna and Steel, don't even come close to manufacturing their engines as finely tuned and polished and all that stuff as Echo does. So this is what he showed me. This just happens to be a Husqvarna right here. It's off of a backpack blower. He says that if you take any Echo competitor cylinder, we're just going to talk about that for now. He says if you take that cylinder and cut it right in half so you can see the cross section of how that cylinder was machined, and then take an extremely high-powered microscope and look at that cross section, this is what you're going to see. Now, I understand this is going to be a little exaggerated, but just bear with me for a second. If you look at that under a microscope for Echo's competitors, it's going to look like something like that. A lot of hills and valleys looks very rough, okay? Even though when you take your finger and feel inside that cylinder, it feels like glass. Feels as smooth as it can get. You can't feel anything with your fingernail. Even though it feels like that, it's not as good as an Echo product. Also, on that note, with the Echo's competitors, he said that there's your piston right there. You got your piston rings wrapped around that piston. And on those piston rings, on the sides of those piston rings, they're square. They're like that, and you have a sharp edge on the top and a sharp edge on the bottom. And that's what starts scraping down those high spots right there, and that's the break-in period. You got that piston ring scraping down there for a while, and it smooths that out a little bit, and that's your break-in period. Okay? And then he says that if you take an Echo cylinder, do the same thing, cut that in half, do the same thing with a really high-powered microscope, it's going to look more like this. That's what he did in service school. It's going to look more like that. It's a lot smoother. We're talking microns, people. It's going to look like that. And on top of that, he says that on a lot, not all Echo products, but some Echo products, the piston ring is not square. It's convex, I believe, is the proper term for that. In other words, that piston ring right there on the sides, instead of being square like that, they're bubbled out a little bit, convex. So the only thing touching the side of that cylinder going up and down is a very tiny little strip of the center of that piston ring is the only thing that is touching that cylinder. So he said there is no break-in period on an Echo because it's already broken in as much as it can be. And also he said that's why some Echoes right out of the box, especially those little small little weed eaters, you know, your strimmers, your grass, your line trimmers. He said that's why they have 90 PSI right out of the box. Now you're going to find some small engine mechanics out there that will tell you right to your face, there is no way any two-stroke engine is going to run on 90 PSI of compression. It's impossible. Well, some Echoes have 90 psi compression right out of the box, and they have tons of power. They work awesome. That's what they told me at this Echo Service School, and I want to know right now if you think that's true. Fire up the comment section underneath this video. Tell us all, do you think what I just said is true, or do you think that's bullshit? Let us all know. I'm really curious to know what you're going to say about this. Till next video, guys. Cheers. Steve out.